Good afternoon, I'm Angel. Welcome to my channel. On the 15th of August, Arequipa, the second biggest city in our country, will celebrate its 480th anniversary. I'm really fond of the city and the region, traveled twice in 2016 and last year, so I like the food and admire that regional pride. 2 years ago, I bought this book, Minimal History of Arequipa, from the first settlers until today, written by Marco Meza, who holds a PhD in history by the College of Mexico, who was my teacher at San Marcos University, and Víctor Condori, who holds a master's degree in history by the Catholic University of San Pablo in Arequipa. Published by the Institute of Peruvian Studies in 2018, this book has 306 pages and 4 chapters, ordered chronologically and according to the periods of our history, ending each in the Inca conquest of the region, independence, the end of the 19th century, and present. The objective of this book is to rescue a part of the diversity of Peru, reflected in its regions, aiming to reach a large audience, and this, having read the whole book, has been accomplished indeed. Based on my own experience, books like this might be too dense and tedious at times. However, in this case, anybody who loves the history of Peru and Arequipa can easily read, analyze, and reflect, which is achieved without the book losing rigor. Not only does this book narrate, but it makes us think, discuss with it. Generally, I have understood that before the arrival of the Spaniards, what is now Arequipa was rather a peripheral space in the Andean world, page 39, with a cultural splendor during the Wari influence. The relationship between the Collagua and Cabana ethnic groups interested me, and learning about the Churajón culture is such a discovery, as well as knowing that the Incas did not build any administrative center in the Chili Valley, page 54. One day I read that Arequipa was founded by Inca Maitacapac, although that period of Inca history is blurred by legends. Once the Spaniards arrived, Camaná on the coast was founded first, and the book covers various aspects of colonial life like the encomienda, the role of the church, buildings, and economy, with special emphasis on the production of wine framed in a regional commerce, the so-called Southern Andean Circuit, and Upper Peru, page 89. In other words, Arequipa goes from being a peripheral area to become an important economic hub in the Viceroyalty. One of the parts that stands out is the myth of the White City, page 93. Contrary to that affirmation that Arequipa had the highest percentage of white or Spanish population in colonial Peru, the book argues that Spanish was a social category and urban indigenous people could claim to be Spanish themselves, page 94. A mental whitening, in Sanchez Albornoz's words. Another curious aspect is the loyalty to the Spanish cause by the local government of the city, on page 109. During the Republic, it is notable that, and it appears on page 113, Arequipa vied to establish as a socio-political hub capable of counteracting the growing power of Lima, a unique case in Peru. According to the authors, the elite of the city appealed to a liberal spirit so as to justify their opposition to Lima, but the truth was that they aimed to preserve their own space of power, the southern Andes, on page 147. A liberal city, though deeply religious. As for economy, the era of wool starts, connecting Arequipa and neighboring region Puno with international trade. Arequipa as a chieftain city, source of rebellions against the power in Lima, supporting leaders like Santa Cruz and Vivanco, among others. The war against Chile got the best and the worst of Arequipa people. That's on page 166. In other texts, I have already read the performance, let's say controversial, that Arequipa showed. An upper class for whom fighting was senseless against the commoners who believed surrendering to the invader was treason. That's page 171. During the 20th century, modernization went on in different aspects, the cultural one among them, strengthening our regional identity which was more and more mestizo, page 195. However, that modernity was one that contrasted the original capital against the provinces, controlled by the landlords and the Catholic Church, page 202. Again, political turmoil and insurrection became commonplace. As well as this, in the social aspect, the city was ruralized, with the immigration that created shantytowns here and there. There was an industrial spirit, industrial park included, but this bonanza turned modest, with a number of companies taking their headquarters to Lima. The paradox of a city which applied centralism towards its provinces, but at the same time recalled higher autonomy in relation to Lima. Page 266. The 21st century arrives with protests on the one hand, but economic growth and a gastronomic and tourism boom on the other. I really like the final words. In this book, we wanted to contribute to tell you the efforts and dreams of the Arequipeños, the people from Arequipa, so as to build a nation and a region which are both prosperous and democratic. This book includes a large bibliography for those who aim to study more specific features of Arequipa. As well as this, there are maps, pictures, and graphics, which is both attractive and useful. In this anniversary of Arequipa, I really recommend this publication, which not only focuses on the so-called White City, but covers the whole region, an industrious region which always holds on and remains strong, no matter how many earthquakes have nearly destroyed it. Happy anniversary, Arequipa, from an admirer.